What's up, everyone? Welcome to Meghan and Matt.
You used my phone.
I moved it. Yeah. Welcome to our channel, everyone. Welcome to our channel, everyone. I am Matt.
I'm Meghan.
We are Meghan and Matt together.
Yep, and we live in a van, and we're gonna tell you the true cost of. I just looked at my phone to read the title. This is the true cost of van life. Everything we gave up to live in a van. Living in a van seems pretty idyllic, right? Like, you see a van parked up next to mountains or water, and it's like, it's beautiful. But there are a lot of things that we gave up to live in a van, and we still make a lot of concessions to be able to live a nomadic lifestyle.
The first thing that we gave up was our independence. Back when we lived in our apartment together, we were very independent people. I had a job, Meghan had her job. We would cook our own meals separately, and we'd just have dinner together probably like a few times a week, but not every single meal was together.
Yeah, and we both had our own cars, so if one of us wanted to do whatever we wanted, like go to the store without the other one being like, oh, I need this and this and this, and let's pack everything up and go together. You know, we could just run to the store, come back, and like, no harm, no foul, right?
Yep.
But when you're in a van, you need to do everything together, unless you have a separate vehicle, which we're not gonna do. We are individuals living together in a 70 square foot thing, you know? Like, you're bound to butt heads. Like, it's just gonna happen.
Bonk.
You bonked my face.
Bonk.
Ow! That bumped my ear. We're working through, like, how we can gain a little bit of it back, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, we're trying to establish some routines and hobbies that each of us can do independent of each other that doesn't require having to pack everything up and with the van.
Yep. So, independence. Just be prepared if you're gonna live as a couple in a van to have to do everything together. Okay.
I got it for you. See, you don't give up convenience. I do.
The second thing that we gave up is convenience. Everything's small in this place. It's like a Barbie dream house in here. So we can only hold enough food for 3 days tops. So it's not really fun to have to go to the grocery store every 3 days. We're losing that convenience of being able to just store all the food in a big refrigerator. Same with like running water. We have to make sure we have enough water to brush our teeth and wash our dishes and things like that. It's not always convenient. We always have to make sure that we know exactly what's going on in our house.
And another thing that is an inconvenience to many, and a little bit for us, is you really have to give up the nice to haves.
Yes.
Everything that you bring in your van really has to be under that must-have category, because you don't have room for all the stuff. And one thing that we really had to give up that I'm still kind of sad about to this day is our bikes.
Yes, which goes into our next thing that we gave up is all of our stuff.
Which really wasn't that big of a deal for us, to be completely honest. We have some stuff in storage, and the things that we kept in storage are things like if we ever do move back into a stationary home, there's like pots and pans that we didn't bring, some random kitchen essentials.
But we also gave up the ability to have more stuff. Mm-hmm. That's the bigger part, because we would love some bikes, and we would love a paddleboard. We would love to have my juicer that I left behind. But it's really hard to clean. It's really heavy. Anyways, got rid of all the stuff, and it does give us like some freeing feelings to not have to have all of this stuff, but also like there's always that part of us that wants more gear to do more adventure stuff.
I would love some rock climbing gear.
We've only rock climbed once.
I want to get into it, and I want that to be my new identity.
Maybe if you install the heater, we would have room for rock climbing gear.
Maybe by the time this video's out, the heater will be in, and this won't be relevant anymore. The fourth thing that we gave up is comfort.
I think the most uncomfortable thing is, while it's great for your skin and your body to adjust to the climate, that comfort of AC and heat, like temperature control. It can get really uncomfortable if it's really humid and hot, then you're all sticky and you're trying to go to bed and you just feel all sticky. There's also the comfort of knowing what your grocery store layout is. You know, so we have to go to every single grocery store and relearn that grocery store, not remember it because we'll never come back.
Things like, where are we going to sleep tonight, is something that if we don't plan and we're just winging it and we're tired, it's pretty uncomfortable to not know where you're going to sleep every night if you don't have a plan ahead. So as good of a job as we do of planning ahead, there are some nights when we're totally winging it, or we get to a spot and it turns out that we can't get down the road because it's too sketchy, or the area sucks. I guess sometimes it's just like, you gotta just figure it out.
Yeah. And there's comfort in not having to figure it out. So the next one goes hand in hand with comfort. We are not close to family. And when you are close to family, and when you've been near family your entire life like we have, it's nice knowing that your mom is right there, just a drive away. It sucks not having them around, but we're doing this for a reason. They're all the way in Connecticut, and I can't, we can't just hang out in Connecticut just because they're around. But we definitely lose that comfort of having family nearby.
The next thing that we have kind of given up a little bit is a little bit of our mental space. So we've only been on the road for about 2.5 months at this time, and it's definitely been a transition, kind of a hard transition for us to really get used to each other in this space. And when one of us is just kind of in a bad mood or whatever, we just need to really learn how to deal with each other and give them enough mental space so that they can get through and deal with whatever we're dealing with.
I think it's really normal if your significant other is like irritated or having a hard time to be like, oh, what's wrong? What's happening? But it makes them more irritated to have to explain their irritation. So having someone constantly say, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong, and like, tell me what's going on is more irritating. So I think it's just mental space is really important for people, especially if you're in a relationship. That's why people have their, man caves and their she dens, so that they can have their own like mental space, a place where it's just theirs. They don't share anything. They can go and think whatever they think. Mental space. We lose a little bit of it, but we're working towards giving each other more. I think this goes without saying. You get rid of a lot of physical space. You gain a lot of like land and like freedom of the outside, but when two people need to cook, or when one person's working and the other person needs to cook, you don't have physical space to just walk around each other as much as you want. So you lose a lot of like, you get a lot of this.
Having such a small space, everything just gets so cluttered. So you're constantly cleaning.
Yep.
But I think that's actually helping us become better about cleaning in general. But I also said that, and I immediately was thinking, like, I don't think it's helping us.
I don't think it is.
We're not generally clean people.
Okay, we're not dirty people, but we're not neat.
Yeah, stuff doesn't usually go where it belongs.
The fact that I make the bed every single day is like a huge feat for me.
Yeah. The next thing that I gave up personally is a career. So I worked in tree industry, I had my arborist license, and I was actively pursuing a career down that avenue. And I gave that up to be on the road because that's not a job that I really could do remotely.
So I've been able to take my career on the move. But I think we all know that the people who get ahead in companies, like especially bigger companies, are the ones who are networking and the ones who are in the office. So when you're fully remote, you lose out on that like networking connection to kind of like build you up in your career. Thankfully, I don't want to really move upward from where I am today. I'm pretty happy where I am. So you kind of lose that opportunity to grow within companies if that's what your goal is.
It's hard to kiss someone's butt when you can't see the butt.
Yeah.
The next thing, which we're going to be completely honest with you about, because we've already been completely honest with you, but we're taking it to that next level, because that's just who we are, is your
worst one.
Butthole health.
Your butthole health will take a hit.
So when we lived at home, we had a bidet which attached right to the toilet, and I think it was great. So being on the road, we have these portable bidets from Hello Tushy, and they do work great, but we can't use them all the time.
We can't use them with a nature's head, and we did try the first month, and it was horrible.
It was a nightmare. It made it way too moist in there, and it wasn't able to compost properly, so it was just smelly, disgusting poop.
So going from water washing your butt to toilet paper washing your butt is the worst thing that's ever happened to us ever.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks.
Yeah.
So we're taking a huge sacrifice to live in this van, and I hope the van is very happy to have us because it sucks.
Yeah, so
I miss my bidet.
yeah, it's just not the same.
It's not. So another thing you give up is probably your diet. And I'm saying probably because, you know, I don't know how you eat. But when you cook in a van, you have to choose things that will cook fast. Cook with the appliances that you keep in the van. And you have to be able to store specific things. So we don't eat greens anymore because they don't last more than one day out in the actual air, but we can't fit them inside of our fridge because they take up like this much space. So our diet has changed, and also the meals that we've cooked have also changed. So be prepared to learn as you go, because we didn't expect to change the things that we were eating once we got in. We also eat less meat because it's nasty to like clean up in here. We still eat it, but like not as much.
We still do eat greens, and you still can continue to eat greens. It's just our fridge doesn't allow for the amount of storage.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention too, like you can buy kale in a bag or greens in a bag and then it'll keep fresh. But we don't use plastic, so we don't pick up greens in plastic. Alright guys, that's our video for today. I hope it helped you with deciding if you want to live on the road or if you live on the road. Hopefully you guys understand what we're talking about too, and we're not just alone here hurting our own buttholes for no reason. So like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more content from us.
See you next time.